Are the old writers SJWs? Well, as usual, let's find out.
As social justice, we understand the notion that some groups need to be compensated for the injustice they experienced in the past, which made them underprivileged. But in practice, what social justice really is welfare for the incompetent. It is a redistribution of goods from the productive to the unproductive under a cool-sounding slogan. It is a perpetuation of weakness on the backs of the strong. It is the eternal parasitism of the eternally underprivileged on those who are industrious enough to provide. It is basically barefoot leftism. So, are the old writers in fact social justice warriors for the whites? Yes, they are. Let's start with the easiest part. Protectionism versus free trade. There is no single economist either on the left or on the right, no single serious economist who would propose protectionist measures. The science is settled on the matters of trade. Free trade benefits everyone. It is a win-win situation for every side engaged in it. Consumers get cheap goods from abroad so they don't spend too much on stuff, so they can have more money to spend on other stuff like education of their children or investment in stocks or eating out or attending opera. Local economy booms from free trade. Yes. Some people lose their jobs. Guess what? They lose their jobs because they are objectively not productive enough to provide their fellow men, the consumers, with goods at a competitive price. Either their wages are too high compared to the world market price for their jobs, or the effectiveness or quality of their products is too low for the consumers to consider buying them. Either way, protectionism, that is, protecting those jobs from foreign competition, amounts to welfare for the ineffective workers, social justice for the unnecessary jobs, prolonging the inevitable on the backs of the consumers. Because under protectionism, with protective tariffs increasing the prices of imported goods, consumers must pay more. They become objectively poorer because of that. The jobs of some workers are protected, but others become unemployed because consumers now cannot afford either eating out or additional courses for children or going to theater or buying books, and etc. The sum of wealth decreases because of protectionism. This is exactly the same if, in the absence of protective tariffs, workers went on welfare. This time the cost would be borne on the taxpayers, but consumers are taxpayers too, they are the same people. So there is really no sense in protecting obsolete jobs which offer no value added. The effect would be the same if workers went on welfare. But alt-right demands social justice for workers, job protection, as if working in an obsolete factory and doing ineffective stuff was some kind of ennoblement. It is not. It is tiresome and grueling. A worker does not have a right to a job. He only has the right to be free to pursue his happiness by finding a new job if the old one becomes obsolete. Jobs are not the end. They are a means to an end, which is consumption, which is living a happy life. There should be no social justice for workers. You hear me, Vox Day? Other part of this idiotic alt-right social justice crap is the resistance to any kind of immigration. Why? Because immigrants steal jobs. Yeah, white people are so dumb and lazy that a Mexican can steal a white man's job. Yeah, right. Like in a hedge fund managing? Well then, a Chinaman will steal that job. So build a wall and let us grow lazy, entitled and arrogant. Who bears the costs? Consumers, at first. With no influx of lower cost, higher efficiency workers, the real wages stagnate and decrease. Costs of living grow because without competition for jobs, there is no innovation. But in the end, robots take your jobs, buddy, because it finally becomes more profitable to automate everything than to keep a lazy, shiftless white bum who refuses to educate and improve himself. Immigration and greater competition for jobs would save you from that predicament. But no, you preferred social justice for workers and to keep immigrants out. I'm talking only about high IQ immigrants here. Yeah, legal immigrants, vetted migrants who want to work in a capitalist economy, improving theirs as well as your lives. You reject it, you lose. In the end, robots take over and you have to eke out a poor living out of the trash can. So as you can clearly see, alt-right hates competition, while competition is the part and parcel of real life in the real world. Alt-right would want to protect white people from every danger in this world, secure their jobs and short-term interests. But the costs it would impose on everyone would exceed the expected benefits, and in the end everyone would be poorer, economy would be poorer, and the imagined ethno-state would be as weak and pathetic as communist Poland was at the end of her obnoxious existence. Alt-right is no different from leftists. Alt-right is basically Bernie Sanders for white people, and Bernie Sanders equals Venezuela. Alt-right is Venezuela for white people. Alt-right equals destruction of white people. Alt-right are race traitors. Start up the rotors.